Hello, I'm Phil from Kingston Library, and today I'd like to take you through some easy and fun activities that you can do at home quite easily with lots of handy materials from around the house. These activities are all based on this year's National Simultaneous Storytime book selection, which is Whitney and Britney, Chicken Divas by Lucinda Gifford. Because these activities are mainly aimed at younger children, we do recommend that parents or adults are on hand to supervise for safety and also to maybe make some suggestions, help with tricky bits. Right, let's get started. If you're a chicken lover, or if you'd like to create a memento of this year's Storytime book, you might like to make something a little bit like this. I've done this using my hand as a cutout to make the chickens. Hands are very useful. You can use them for all kinds of things. Butterflies, jellyfish, a tree, maybe a fish going sideways. But in this instance, I've used them to make the head of the chicken, the body of the chicken, and these are the feathers. These ones I've cut out on card. You may not have pink or blue card, but that's okay. You can use any colour at all that comes easily to you. So I've glued those down, and then I've added some little pieces for the crown. I've added, by drawing on, some little legs, some wings, and I've drawn in a microphone there. I've also added some boggly eyes, which you can buy in packs like this. Otherwise, you can just draw those on. And for the feather boas and the sparkly tiaras, I've used some sparkly pipe cleaners. Now, you don't need to have sparkly pipe cleaners. You might have ordinary pipe cleaners, or you might just use some crepe paper or bits of wool, anything at all that you have lying around the house. So I've glued all those down. I've also, on this little chicken, I think this might be Whitney, I've glued on some feathers, and they come in all kinds of colours from a craft store or a $2 store. They're quite easy to find. And I've also added on some little jewels onto a little flap that looks like a little item of clothing that they're wearing. So you might want to make something like that, glue that on, add some jewels, sequins, or sparkle pieces are also available quite readily. The other thing I might mention is that if you don't have actual feathers, you can easily make your own feathers by drawing a feather shape, as I have done here, and then cutting them out, and with a pair of scissors, snipping downwards to create the little feathery bits, and you can stick those on. Likewise, you might like to draw and colour in your own feathers, like that. Cut them out and stick them on, and they can also look quite good, like that. Or, I went out into the garden this morning and found some lovely autumn leaves, and they're a great shape for feathers. They come in all kinds of colours at the moment. They don't have to be autumn leaves. These gum leaves, even the dried ones, are a really good shape for feathers. You could stick those on. For the glitter ball and the microphone, I've gotten a little piece of kitchen foil, and I've screwed it up into a little ball, and I've glued that on. Same for the microphone. And up here I've just used some crepe paper and some, I think I coloured that in to make the lights that are dazzling down. So there you are, a little memento of Whitney and Britney, Chicken Divas. Now, you might just like normal chickens. You might even have chickens of your own. So you might like to do something a little bit more normal looking, like this. Again, I've used my hand as a print this time, and I've used paint. Acrylic paint is easily found in little tubes like this, and rather than put a whole lot of paint down and then plop your hand into it, that can be quite messy. The easiest way to do a hand print is to paint the paint onto your hand and fingers and then press down. It just makes a neater print. So I've made these ones yellow, a bit more like normal chickens, and I've just, with some colouring in pencils, just your ordinary colouring in pencils or crayons, added all the extra bits. The fluffy feathers, the feet, the crown and the beaks, and I've also put a bit of a background there. You can draw whatever you like. Now, not everybody has beautiful white cartridge paper like this, and you don't need fantastic big sheets of white paper. I found that a piece of cardboard from the side of a box is also really useful and quite suitable, and it actually lends a nice background to either paint or to cardboard, so you could give that a go. Something else you might like to do, this was another idea, is to make a little hand puppet. Again, I've used my hand and I've traced that onto just some packaging that I found around the house, okay, from an old box. Traced it onto there, and then I went outside and found some little twigs, and you could stick those on for legs. And I put a little paddle pop stick there, but if you don't have those, again, you can just go outside and get some twigs and sticky tape those onto the back. And I've added the crown and the beak and drawn on, I don't know if you can see the feathers that I've drawn on there, but I've drawn those on in pencil. You could do those in texture, or you can do them in crayon. So that could be a little puppet. You might do a whole farmyard collection, a pig and a cow and whatever you like, and have a little play to use them with. You could, instead of drawing on feathers, and I've trialled this on the back, stick on some feathers, and I've just cut some U-shaped shapes out like that. I've cut them out either of plain paper, or you might have some wrapping paper that's left over. It doesn't matter what it is, that looks quite nice. When you do pop these on, layer them from the bottom. So start from the bottom and then put a row and then put another row over the top, so that you get that overlapping layered effect. Now, you wouldn't use both of those colours together, you'd have one or the other, but whatever you've got lying around the house. You could even use some magazines and tear out some paper, maybe get matching shades and use those if you don't have any coloured paper or wrapping paper. So there's lots of things that you can come up with to make your own little puppet.